Well, hey guys, welcome back to this channel. If this is your first time watching my video, I'm Matt Samolski. I'm Matt the Carguy. On this channel I do car reviews, and for those of you who watched it before, you'd say, Matt, is it snow in Florida? And the answer is no. I'm back in Illinois because I decided to do another Mercedes review. It's been a while since I've done one, so I want you guys to take a look at this brand new 2021 Mercedes-Benz GLS. Now, this is the second year of this design, so this is not a brand new model, but I haven't done one yet. So today I'm going to take you off the tour of this vehicle, exterior, interior. We're going to check out the roominess behind the third row seat, second row seat, so on. We're going to find out what powers up this beast, and then we're going to take it for a spin. So if you're ready, let's go. Alright guys, so for those of you that are not familiar with what a GLS is their flagship, the biggest Mercedes SUV that they make. It's also one of the more expensive one, most expensive one. So what they did is they started with the GL, and I think 2015 or 16, somewhere around there, they rebadged all of their sport utility models. So basically, you know, it started with the GLA, then the GLB, GLC, GLE, and GLS. So if you look at this, they're based off of the platforms, which is the last letter of that GL. So GLA is based on the A platform, and that means that the GLS is based on the S platform. So that's the biggest, the widest, the longest, the most luxurious, and the most comfortable SUV. And we're going to start this tour with the front of this vehicle, and there's some significant changes, not from 2020 but from the previous model. The front end has been completely redesigned, and take a look, beautiful lights, the LED lights, and they have this really nice light signature. Once you turn them on, they're very nice, bright, and visible, even without them being on all the way. Huge Mercedes Star in this big grille, and this looks very massive. It looks very muscular, and that's where all the Mercedes sensing technology hides, right behind it. Massive hood, Mercedes badge right here as well. And you know, this behind it is this mesh black in the back of this grille, and then kind of a similar trim right on the side. Now there's different trims, there's different bumper levels available on this car. This is the GLS 450, and then take a look at the bottom. It finishes off with this nice chrome trim. So there's a little bit of everything. There's the body color, there's this painted in the brushed aluminum color, then there is the chrome, and then the matte black. Kind of comes together really nicely. Let's see, none of these are functional. These are of course functional. There's enough area that the air can go in and cool the vehicle. So there's 3 different engines that are available on the GLS. Let's take a look what's underneath this one right here. Okay, guys, so what powers up this thing? This particular one is an inline 6. We've seen this engine before. 362 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. And the other 2 options are 8 cylinders, one for the GLS 580 and then the other one for the GLS 63. Now 6-cylinder, it states right here on the engine cover right here, and you also have those 6 elements right here that tells you that it's a 6-cylinder vehicle. As far as transmission, it's got the 9-speed automatic transmission with overdrive. But the nice part about the this engine too, and this combination, that you get that torque at about 1800 RPM, so it should be pretty responsive, pretty torquey. And look how big this hood is and how big that engine compartment is. It's actually massive, just like it should be for the flagship of Mercedes. All right guys, so as far as the side of this vehicle, now you've seen the Mercedes cleaned up their line quite a bit as far as the looks, especially for the SUVs. They were more square, maybe not square, but they had more kind of lines. Now they make it smoother, more aerodynamic, more stylish, you know, typical luxury sport utility. So, you know, there's a little bit of a differences, you know, between 2020 2021. On the outside you won't notice much, other than the 20-inch wheels are standard now. Now these are 21-inch wheels, and I like that design. That's massive. It kind of looks heavy. But what else you have on here? This cladding around the wheel wells, it's that matte black. Now you have the running boards on this particular one. You have the mirrors, of course, with the LED turn signals that are incorporated in here. And, you know, of course, Mercedes got the keyless go. So when you have your key with you, you can lock and unlock the car. See, like I'm doing right now. And then put your hand underneath the door handle, and it's gonna undo the door. Guys, by the way, if you hear any weird noises, those are probably my teeth chattering, because it's literally 15 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's about 10 below in Celsius. But it's nice and sunny and we're having fun. So let's continue with this. As with the BMW X7, you can see the difference in the size of the door. The rear door is massive. It's got a lot of room, and that too allows for the maximum entrance. And look at how wide they open. I'm going to put that camera right here so you can see that in just a little bit, but let's finish off in the side of it. Big windows, so you know you're gonna have a lot of visibility out here. And then, by the way, the door handles are finished in chrome, and then there's also that trim that goes around the windows that is kind of polished aluminum look. So again, the cladding around the rear wheel well, and then you have the lights that start in here. Let's check out the roominess in here. As far as the back of this vehicle, it's pretty much straight down, and that is really nice because it allows for the maximum room inside, and also it gives that little bit boxiness to this. Nice lights that start on the side and wrap around into the gate. Now this is a GLS 450, so you have that badge right here, Mercedes Star in the middle, and the 4Matic on the side. 2 or 3 actually chrome pieces that go across, one right here in the middle of that gate, then the one on the bottom, kind of the gate seal, and then the one at the very bottom. And then you have 2 exhaust. Now these are not real exhaust tips, so kind of there, Mercedes, maybe you could have thought about putting the real ones. I mean, you do have exhausts, right? So anyways, this one also has equipped with the trailer hitch, so if you have a boat or something, you can tow that. Let's open up the gate, and voila. Now the third row seats are up, and these can be controlled just like on the BMW. You can't do it manually, you have to do it with the electric assist. So you can do the 2 second row. Now it's folding the second row seat, and this is the third row seat, so we can fold that down. Check this out. Now the seats are folded down. Obviously we can take that cover out. I want to just point out a couple of things. I told you there is a spare tire, and there's also room to put more stuff in here, and there is room, like you see that little sign right here, to actually put that cargo cover that's right here and store it inside. Now the seats are up and down as far as the power seats. Now on the left hand side, these control the second row seat. I don't know if you can see it, but it says 2L and 2 right. So second row left seat, let's move it up, and the second row right seat, and let's see what happens. We don't have to do anything else. They do this dance by itself. Now it takes a little bit, but then you can also do the same thing for your seats in the third row seat. And another button that there is in the back is the one that controls the height of this vehicle. So we've seen it on other Mercedeses, but you can actually lower it. You can drop it down for easier loading and unloading. So this is the back, and it looks pretty awesome, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's get closer to here so we can check this out. See that these are the seat controls that are on the side of the door, and this one is equipped with this beautiful walnut trim. It's not shiny, it's kind of that matte walnut, and you can see it has the heated seats, it has the button for the ventilated seat as well, and it also has the Burmeister stereo. Now as far as here, you have, this is a power shade right here, so this is very nice, especially if you have kids or if you're driving somebody, because really this SUV is not only for the driver, but it certainly is aimed for the passenger. Now take a look at the configuration of the seats. I mean, 2 captain chairs right in the back, plenty of room for your legs, and then you can adjust those seats. In the middle here, the passengers have the ability to control their own heating and ventilating, or heating and air conditioning, so they can set up their own temperature. And by the way, it does have the quad zone climate control, so it used to be 3-zone. Now that's the difference for the 2021. It has the quad zone climate control. Let's take a look up there. See that huge massive panoramic sunroof that this one is equipped with. Look how much light it gets inside the car or the SUV from that. Now we're gonna check out the room in the third row seat. I have to move, literally I have to move the seat forward for me to even get in the back. So definitely, I mean, kids only, there's not enough room for the full size adult to get into those third row seat, unfortunately. Surprisingly, because you know, this SUV is 205 inches long, so you'd think that there would be enough room for, you know, 6 adults. And I gotta tell you, I can't fit in here. I'm not even trying to. And with the headrest, basically, if it's not all the way up, I mean, it's very uncomfortable. So, you know, if I were to critique for something, that would be the third row seat. That certainly there could be a lot more room in here. How do I get out of here other than the middle? There's a button here. I guess the car's got to be running, which it's not right now, to fold the seat, which you can also get out through the middle of that space right in between the seats. So let's check out where the magic happens. Well, let's open the door and see how it closes. Okay, let's see how solid it is. That's a pretty darn solid sound of the door. Mercedes never disappoints on any trim levels, and it certainly shouldn't, and it doesn't on that GLS, which is their flagship sport utility. Let's check out how the door looks from the inside. Take a look at this, the same walnut trim, beautiful matte walnut trim. Now it has a Burmeister stereo, but it also have the heated and ventilated seats. Now it's also nice because you can actually get the right seat, which is the passenger seat, and get it ready for the passenger if you'd like to. Now it's got this light beige interior, and you can see that just the regular stuff in here, the window controls, the mirror controls, lock, unlock, 3 memory seat settings, and at the bottom here you have your gate opener. Now Mercedes-Benz logo on the door sill right here, and check out the seats. Look how nice they are. They're profiled, so you know, somebody that's wide might have, you know, a little bit of an issue of sitting in here. I did not have a problem. I'm not the smallest person, did not have a problem while driving this car. So we're gonna talk about it on the interior. Let's check out the rest of it. Hey guys, so let's talk about the interior of this flagship 2021 Mercedes-Benz GLS. Before I forget, I'm gonna try to see if you can see what I see, and maybe you can, maybe you can't. Can you see that 0 down on the display? It's really hard to see with the camera. I can see it blinking. You have the 0 miles per hour. You actually have the channel that you're listening to as far as the music, and then you have the distance which you can set up between you and the car in front of you. So that's the head-up display. But let's go back inside and check out the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is a typical Mercedes-Benz steering wheel, and if you haven't watched any of my previous video, I go a little bit more in depth on some of them on the MBUX. And one of the complaints that I was listening to people, you know, voicing out that Mercedes infotainment system, or the MBUX, it's has a pretty steep learning curve as far as figuring out what is what. And I gotta tell you, I mean, if that's your complaint, then you don't have to use it. I mean, honestly, because the basic functions are so easily accessible, and you can virtually customize pretty much everything on that system. And on the steering wheel, so the left part of the steering wheel on the Mercedes controls this 12-point-inch screen right in front of you, and the right hand side of the steering wheel controls this 12-point-inch screen on the side. That screen is also touchscreen, so you can control it with the touchscreen. You can control it with this pretty cool trackpad. So I mean, there's a lot that you can actually do different ways, and you can control it through voice by saying, "Hey Mercedes," and if it's enabled, you know, it's gonna tell you, "How can I help you?" Right? Which this one is not. Back to the steering wheel. On the left hand side, you also have your cruise control settings. This is for the adaptive cruise control, and that's where you set the distance between you and the car in front of you, of course. And then this is your volume button, and the mute button. If you press it, it's gonna mute the radio or turn it back on. So while we have it on, let's hear the Burmeister, and you know, it's actually pretty darn good. Turn that off, and then you have your favorite button, voice control, and then you have your hang up button for here. So quickly, because it will take forever to go through all of the features, there's so many of them, but what do you see in here? So first of all, you have the home menu, and you can actually see that you have radio, media, design and display, service. So it's very self-explanatory. Okay, radio is a radio, right? Trip, you press it, and then you see what's going on. Okay, then you go again to the home screen, phone assistance. Okay, hit that, and this is for your cruise control, so you can set the distance between you and the car in front of you. Of course, if you have this, now I can't have it on because it's 0. You can actually have it low miles per hour. You can set this up, and if you'd like to. And what else do you have here? So phone navigation, okay, head-up display, that's in the navigation right now. Previous destinations, road not map, that's basically where we're at right now. And it's gonna put that navigation screen right in between these fully digital displays in here. So this is very nice. You can have a trip, radio, media, and then you have different designs and display. And we're not going to go through all of them, but you have different options for classic, sport, progressive, understated. This is your display, just very basic. Okay, and I can go back. I guess my favorite one is the standard one, to be honest with you, or classic. This is what I like, but you can have whichever one you want. And the right hand side, that screen, you know, you can basically have anything on that screen. And again, touch screen, so you can control it swiping. And I don't know about the high or steep learning curve. I mean, swipe, select the one option that you like, and just hit it and see what's going to come out. Let's say comfort. Okay, so you have a massage seat in this. Okay, hot relaxing back massage. You select whether you want it high or low, and then you select this little play button, and that's going to start massaging. And it actually feels pretty darn good. Go back, if you want a hot relaxing shoulder massage, activating massage, classic massage, you have the different options that are available. Now, if you want to stop that massage, okay, hit that little stop button and that's it. Kind of like play and stop, nothing to it, right? So you can select the seat comfort, okay, relax with the slight seat movement, but you can also go in and select seat kinetics, lumbar, side bolster, seat heating balance, all that stuff. That is all the options that are available, tons of it. Ambient lighting, Mercedes is very known for its 64 color ambient lighting, and you can actually see the different colors. You can't see it right now because it's so bright outside, but you go back in here to the ambient lighting and select the color that you would like, and let's see if we can actually see multicolor. But you can select this different color. You can just basically go here and say I want red, and it's going to show you right on this little screen in here where the red is going to be. And I'm going to try, but you know, it's very okay. You can see there's a red in here, and we're going to switch it to blue. I wonder if you can see it. So you can see it now probably, and then green. So that's where all of those LED like little accent lights are, all the way all around the vehicle, and it gives you that nice ambient look for the inside of the car. You can have a single color, you can have a multicolor animation, you can have a welcome, you know, all that stuff. So you can set it up yourself, but don't be afraid to play with this. Guess what? You're not going to break anything by playing with this system. You can always go back home, like if you don't know where you're at, you can hit the home button here, you can hit the home button on the steering wheel, you can hit the home button on this little trackpad, so there's always like an escape route. Say, hey, I want to go back, fine, go back to, you know, wherever you've been. Info, settings, you know, so car settings, let's check this out really quick. And, you know, basically quick access, you know, you have tons of little on and off. So any of those buttons, okay. Manual shifting, you want to turn it on, okay, push this button. Turn it off, push the button again. Not really that difficult. Okay, assistance, camera and parking. Let's take a look at the camera and parking. Let's see what we have here. So camera and parking, warn early all around, warning tone volume. So basically if there is anything that's going on around the vehicle, that's gonna give you like a warning sound if you decide to do it. Active brake assist, attention assist, traffic light view, traffic light display if stop at the stoplight. So it's gonna show you whether you are having you are at the red light or basically a green light. So I'm gonna turn that on. I'm gonna put it on automatic, and I haven't seen that feature on Mercedes, so I'm curious of how it works when we drive it. Let's see where it's gonna display. Let's go out of here. So back to vehicle settings, and you have the dynamic select. Dynamic select, that basically tells you different driving modes. Individual configuration, so you can select your drive and you have different ways of adjusting it: comfort, sport and eco. And by the way, when you drive this vehicle, you can see, okay, do I want to have a comfort suspension? Do I want to have a sport suspension? Steering wheel, do I want to have a comfort or sport? You'll learn while driving of what this is. Electronic stability, comfort or sport. Okay, so you have different options. You can also choose from, you know, the pre-selected drive modes, and you can select those right here at this dynamic select, and it basically have individual, you have sport, you have comfort, you have eco mode. So you have different modes, and on the right hand side on those eco modes you have the different settings that the vehicle sets for this particular mode. So let's say sport everything's gonna be in sport: suspension, engine, transmission, steering, stuff like this. Comfort, everything's gonna be in comfort. Eco, engine's gonna be in eco, everything else is gonna be in comfort. In individual, you can select and mix match it to your liking. Nothing to worry about. Again, you're not gonna break anything if you select it. You just deselect it after that. Okay, so we're not going to go too much more in detail of this MBUX. Maybe I should do another video of just that, and you know what's in here and how to use it. But guys, if you get one, don't be afraid to play with it. Navigation, so again, where to, you can select it, and then it's going to give you options where you just want to put favorites, previous destinations, you know, blah blah blah. So we're just going to put it as one of the previous destinations because that's where we're going to go anyways, and just a little bit, and we'll see how that navigation works while driving. Rectangular vents, which I think I prefer better than the round ones, but you know, it's personal choice and personal preference. As far as underneath here, you have all of the climate controls. Now, again, you can use this is the old-fashioned climate control. So, temperature down, okay? You can set it on auto. You can select to lower the fan if you'd like to. Turn it off completely, as you can see I did now, okay? Menu. So, first row of seats, second row of seats, third row of seats. So this is gonna give you that tri-zone climate control. Now it's got 2 zones in the front, 1 in the middle, 1 in the back, so it actually has 4 zones of climate control, and you can select either one of them and you can actually set it the way that you want it. So I mean, there's a lot of tons and tons and tons of features that you can customize. So, and you can do it manually in here. So if you're worrying about the learning curve, don't worry about it. Now this, okay, it's got a little latch right here to unlock it, and then it slides open. And let's see what we have here. So we have 2 USB-C ports. This is your charging station, basically. You have cup holders, and these are for larger or smaller cups, depending on what you have. So see, now these are for smaller. They adjust to the shape of the cup, basically. In the middle, that tracking for basically the controlling of the MBUX, and then you have your drive modes right here. So this is basically your quick access vehicle button. What it does, it displays all the quick access options on the screen, and then you can do it. Then Navi, media, radio, media, telephone, volume, and then again you press it on,
free, ZipRecruiter.com,
or off. This basically is just your palm rest, and this adjusts the height of this vehicle, so you can adjust it, lower it, and raise the vehicle depending on the situation, depending on how you like it. At the top here in your console, I mean, you basically have your roof controls. So first, if you hit this, it's gonna open up the shade, and look how far it goes. It goes all the way back there. So tons of room. I really like it, and I was so happy to get inside the car. But now I want to show you how this opens and how far it goes, because and it's gonna let all of the super cold air in. So this is it. That's how far it goes. So not all the way. Let's close it. Again, controls for your lights, Mercedes Me, and assistance if you want to, and just basic sunglass holder right in here. Let's see how this flagship SUV drives. But before we do that, really quick, let's take a look at the materials. Let's check it out. Nicely wrapped and stitched. This is actually real stitch. This is not that plastic that's basically an imitation. This is actually a thread in here. Big speaker right in front, part of the Burmeister stereo. This is where your head-up display is, and then you have other speakers, tweeters here and here, and at the bottom of the vehicle. So you have a very nice sound system. So the first thing I want to do is to drive it through snow. Before we talk about anything else, let's see how this vehicle is gonna handle just a little bit of that snow. And that's basically just a you know, everyday kind of deal for a lot of people who are living in the climate that gets snow. Let's go through some of those snow mounts right here. Not gonna go through a big one, but see if it can actually handle a little bit of that snow. And it had no problem doing that. So I mean, I wasn't expecting it to have an issue, but you never know. So the truth is, I wanted to do that just for fun, but also to show you that it doesn't have issues basically with you know, driving through a little bit of snow, maybe even a lot more than a little bit. And let's check out a couple things. Let's check out the turning diameter. And we do have some painted lines on here, finally back. So my archaic way of checking this out. All right, well, let's go here and then let's turn the wheel all the way. And we're number 1, 2, 3, 4 and just a little bit. Now, keep in mind that this 205 inches in length is basically the size of a decent sized minivan. It's actually longer than Honda Odyssey. It's about the same size as Toyota Sienna. And I'm not comparing these cars, I'm just giving that to you for a point of reference as far as how big this vehicle is. Rear view camera, that would be another thing that's very important and super important. And let's put it in reverse. Let's see how that looks. So we have just a regular turn camera. We have those guidelines that basically turn, and that it shows you this is where you're gonna go. So again, some people don't know what these are for. This is basically your trajectory lines that shows you that this is where your vehicle is gonna end up if you're gonna turn right here. So if you want to go a little bit forward, let's say, because you want to fit perfectly into that parking space, and then you put it back in reverse, and then you turn it and see how it is. Now you're going to be much better off getting into those parking spaces. But here, I'm not here to teach you about parking. Let's check out, this is the front view camera. Narrow angle front view, basically again, top view, 360, beautiful 360 system. It will tell you of where this vehicle is going to go. Now, here, if I can get a close-up of it, this line right here, super important, because a lot of people just take a look, they move to the back and see that they're gonna get into this parking space. What if there was something standing right here? What if there was a little post that you didn't see? That top view is gonna capture that and it's gonna show you where you're at. The sides, okay, see how the wheels are turned right now? That also tells you that, hey, you know, the wheels are sticking out from the body of the vehicle, so make sure that you're not gonna hit anything. And then the wide angle, the narrow angle, and then the towing, that basically just concentrates right on that tow hook. So if you are backing up to hook up the trailer, perfect camera for that. So rear view camera, excellent. But the vehicle itself, it feels good. Now, good thing that it has that front camera, if you would like to put that in here, because there might be a little bit of visibility issue in front. I mean, you can see this big massive hood that's on here, so that kind of stands in the way of perfect visibility. I don't mind it. I've learned to drive a lot of big SUVs, and particularly love them. And this one, super smooth. Okay, let's see how the acceleration is. Okay, what's happening right now? we hit the acceleration. I raised that car when we were going over the bumps and over the snow, and now the car lowered itself for a better aerodynamics, for a better driving dynamics, so it knows what to do. Let's switch this to a sport mode and see how that performs. So now we're driving, you know, and let's see when I hit it if it's gonna have, wow, this is a very heavy vehicle. It's most likely it's about 6,000 pounds or so, maybe a little bit more, so it's not a lightweight anyways. And this inline six is perfectly capable of moving this huge SUV without, you know, feeling like it's fighting for its life. Another big thing, it's cornering, and we're gonna take this corner at about, you know, 25 miles per hour. So okay, well, it was a little bit off the body roll, but not bad at all. I never thought like I was losing control of it. I was trying to lean the other way, which is a natural reaction. If the car's leaning one way, you're leaning the other way. So no issues right there at all. Nice, smooth, quiet. No wonder, you know, this is their flagship SUV. Now, you might want to ask, Matt, what are they going for? What is the price of this SUV? And I'm going to post all of the equipment that this particular one has that the basic one wouldn't have. Just to give you an idea, this car has about almost $10,000 of additional equipment, and it lists for right around $90,000. Okay, so still a sub $100,000 car in the luxury segment. Now you're looking at cars that are basically SUVs, such as BMW X7, very comparable in pricing, also 3 different engine options. You're looking at the Range Rover, the big Range Rover, which is going to be more expensive because they're generally $100,000 plus. Now you're looking at the domestic competition, which is a Cadillac, which is going to be about 100 grand. So we got to compare those to apples, right? As far as that, we're not going to compare them to, you know, anything smaller. Even, you know, with Lexus LX 570, beautiful car, but the fully loaded one, you know, it's going to be about $100,000, $99,000. So it seems like a lot, and it is, don't get me wrong, it's a lot, you know, for that, but you get a lot for the money as well. And you know, I'll give us a huge thumbs up because it drives awesome, it looks awesome, it has, you know, it has a few features that I would like to, oh, here it is, it shows me the traffic light right on the screen here. It's green now, so that's nice because sometimes you don't see it. Sometimes they're too high or, you know, too close and you can't see it, which is nice. But what I was getting at is this car has everything, in my opinion, that the luxury car owner or SUV owner would want out of this. 2 things about it that I didn't like, and I think Mercedes could look into it and fix it somehow. I don't know how, but maybe reconfigure the seat configuration, so put more legroom in the 3rd row seat because it's definitely lacking. Second thing, to have a 1-button access to that 3rd row seat, which there is a button on the passenger side, there's no button on the driver's side. Should have it for both. I'm sure maybe in England or anywhere where the steering wheel is on the right hand side, they have it on the opposite, but you know, why not have it at both? That's another thing. I don't know if they can do anything about that hood. I mean, that's something that I could certainly get used to myself, but I can see a lot of, especially newer drivers to this, that say, hey, you know, the visibility, I can't see over that hood. And that's a problem with a lot of those big SUVs. So this is not exclusive to Mercedes-Benz, but I'm so happy that I'm back here at Mercedes-Benz of Hoffman Estates that allowed me to film this car, and because I missed it. I really missed my Mercedeses, and maybe I'm partial to the brand, but I also know why they're called one of the most luxurious vehicles in the world. So thank you, Mercedes-Benz of Hoffman Estates, for providing this vehicle to me, allowing me to film it. Guys, this concludes the review of this car, and thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that little subscribe button, smash that like button, and share it with your friends and family if you like this type of stuff. And I will see you in my next video. Cheers.